The 80-year-old senator is said to be recovering amazingly well from Friday's surgery. Doctors say that blood clot was removed from above McCain's left eye. Tests revealed the tumor was associated with the blood clot. Glioblastoma account for about 15% of all primary brain tumors. The average patient survives about 15 months. Our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Jon LaPook, is with us. Good morning.
Morning, Charlie.
Tell us about this particular cancer and the treatment options.
Well, as you mentioned, it's a very deadly type of brain cancer, and the statistics in the past have been grim. However, there are some new treatments. There is a standard first line, which involves chemotherapy and radiation. As Nancy said, the chemotherapy is a pill, usually called temozolomide, taken by mouth and generally tolerated pretty well.
And treatment options other than that?
Well, that's the first line. There are a bunch of other things in development. Remember that Scott Pelley did a piece on 60 Minutes with Henry Friedman down at Duke, where they injected polio virus into a tumor to get some immune reaction to that. There's even an electrical cap that people put on to try to create disrupting electrical fields. And there are immunotherapies, because one of the things that cancer does, which makes it so deadly, is that it hides itself from your immune system. It cloaks itself. So a lot of these new therapies are to strip that cloak away and say, oh, there it is, I'm going to go out and kill it.
The thing about glioblastoma is that it creates these finger-like projections through the brain, and that's what makes it difficult to treat, right?
That's exactly right. So, you know, they say in the statement that they were able to remove, by imaging studies at least, anything that was visible. The problem with glioblastoma is by the time it's there, almost always there are tiny little microscopic foci that have spread elsewhere, which is why you always need some other treatment.
He has been treated 3 times, I believe, for malignant melanoma, but it was stage 0 and non-invasive. Could this be related?
I don't think it is related. In fact, you know, a few days ago, on Friday, when they said, well, we're sending the clot off for pathology, or we're going to wait on our treatment options to look at the pathology, I thought, well, it's a benign little blood clot. Why? I mean, little blood clot, but if it's a benign clot, why wait for that pathology report? I was thinking it could be malignant melanoma that had metastasized to the brain. So did some neurologists I spoke to. So I was surprised to find out it's yet a different type of tumor. It's a primary brain tumor, meaning it hasn't spread from somewhere else to the brain. It started in the brain.
But let me understand, they probably were not looking for this when they went in. They were really trying to find out what was behind the blood clot?
Yeah, I think he came in. We don't know a lot of details about the symptoms. He said it was routine. They did a scan. They saw this clot there, and they said, let's go in and find out what it is. Now, what's interesting is, you remember that during the testimony with James Comey, there was a moment or two where he sort of had some confusion, some difficulty getting words out. And you think about the frontal lobe, where that clot is and where the tumor is. The front of the brain is where is involved with communication, language. So you can imagine that if there's a problem there, that could have given him those symptoms.
Yeah. Lindsey Graham said he'd been feeling tired recently, too.
Yeah, that is one of the symptoms, along with any part of the brain that's affected. It can cause a headache, it can cause weakness, it can cause little tiny seizures. There are all sorts of problems.
Thanks, John.
But I'll tell you something, he's a strong guy, and I'm sure he's going to be putting up his dukes.
Yeah, he is a fighter, and I said this online, Faith of My Fathers is still one of the greatest books and really details one of the toughest fights he fought already as a POW, and worthy of another read. Dr. Jon LaPook, thank you. Thank you.